All right, right now we are inside Tasta TV, a TV studio that is here in Liverpool. Inside, in the studio, a professional TV studio with lighting grid and cameras and everything. I'm going to shoot a video for a young girl called Charlotte, who's doing a cover of Alicia Keys' song, If I Ain't Got You. How you doing? I'm Chase. This is the Square One Pictures team. So follow us in. Okay, so right now we're here inside the studio of Tasta TV. And this is Crystal Galt, our first AD of the day.
Hello.
And what we're going to do is I'm going to just walk Crystal through our shot list for the video. So the first process, really, when you have an artist and an artist wants to do a video and you're a director, what you generally have to do is you have to write them a treatment. And that treatment is generally like an A4 to two pages of A4, or a concise way of how you see the video in its context from beginning to end. Would you agree, Crystal?
Yeah, it's a kind of breakdown.
Then what happens is, if the artist accepts that video and we get the job, which is what happened now, then what we have to do is, as a director, we would get a counterpart, an assistant director, to also break down the treatment, which was probably a series of 5 paragraphs, into what we call a shot list.
Yeah.
Then there'll be what we call table performance or the study performance. Right. And we'll probably shoot that in here. And what it is that's our intellectual scene. So that's the scene where, you're supporting him, like going back to school, and like helping him study, that kind of thing, right? Because he's like a roughneck, yeah? Okay. Then there'll be that point where he surprises you like with a little bear or something like that, and then it's all kind of like nice and lovely. Okay. And then finally there'll be what we call a doorway sequence, which will be backlighting and a silhouette shot of the two of you together, more like an intimate holding pose kind of thing, right? Then finally, in the table shot, right, because he's like, he pushes the books away and everything like that, because he's like, fuck the studying kind of stuff, whatever, right? You just lean into his ear, right, real tight shot, like just your lips whispering to his ear, is like how you love him, right, or saying like the words of the song playing at you, you know what I mean? It's like, you gotta go on, baby, yeah? Does it make you want to cry?
It's touching.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Rachel, what's happening here is you're setting her up for this performance. She's wearing black. She's behind black. It's going to be a gold and amber light on her face. Right. So not too much glamour makeup on this one. Okay. Yeah? We could do that on the goddess performance, especially when we'll probably need that kind of stuff to separate her from the white.
Yeah, to make it out.
But this one should really be more simple. Right? She's a very pretty girl, so we can always just kind of focus on that. Yeah. Yeah? As what they call 3 backgrounds. If you pan around, you'll see the black background, the white background, and the green background. And the green background is mainly for green screen, which allows us to composite images from anywhere, or what they call matting images. We have 3 performance setups. This is the key to narrative videos, because a narrative video is a story, and that story has a beginning, middle, and end. So if you take that philosophy of the beginning, middle, and end, 3 parts, then you should have always 3 setups for every part. The first performance setup of our artist will be the black screen background, and she'll be wearing black. So what we'll do is we'll do a close-up of her singing the whole song, kind of like Sinead O'Connor in Nothing Compares to You, Beautiful. Yeah? And this way we focus on her voice, we focus on her face, and her emotion of the song that she wants to convey. Then the second performance setup will be a white background. In the white background, she'll be wearing white, which will give her this like, I'm in heaven type of feel, right? So she'll look like a goddess. So the shots, instead of close, will be wide and mid shots. Her performing a love song, her love letter to her partner. And then the third performance setup will be utilizing the green background. Reason why we'll utilize the green background is because then we can put her into any environment. On the beach, on the moon, down the street. But mainly we're also going to be using the green background to composite multi-images. Alright? I don't want to give away the secret. I'll give away the secret at the end because there's a twist. This video has a twist. So let's just say there's a green screen performance, shall we, for now. Then what happens is that for our story to happen, for our narrative, we have to have a story. What I mean. So what's going to happen is we're going to just see different shots, and the way we edit it together will be that there'll be shots in succession, like their life story. And this is also an important point to mention, the four-wall exercise. As a director, you never know where you're going to end up a lot of times shooting. So what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to kind of like be able to walk into the room, stand in the center, look at the four walls, and figure out where you're going to set your camera position. So, because I know I want to have a doorway sequence, because the doorway kind of like means a portal, a threshold, and the couple will be in the door. So we'll find out later what those choices ended up being. But it'll be a silhouette shot in the doorway with backlighting. Remember, this is a video that doesn't have any words, so the metaphor of the images are most important. So to show that they have a loving relationship with the couch, show that they have an intimate relationship with the silhouette shots, and show that they have a counterpoint intellectual relationship, that they relate to one another, that they support one another. And that is 3 setups. Then there's a secret. I'm not going to tell you a secret yet, so we'll get to that later. We also need our hook. Now hook will be what I call the candle sequence. Right? Now upstairs is the green room, and we'll see that later, but upstairs in the green room is that everybody knows the old story about putting a candle in the window for your love. Yeah? I am your constant. As long as I hold that light in the window, you'll always come home to me.
Aww.
I don't mean it in the, see, that's all I wanted, an So, the video will open with our artist, Charlotte, putting a candle in the window for her love. And then it'll end on a secret. We'll get to that, how that ends. Any other information you need before we move on to the next step then?
I think one thing I'll need to work out with you is how much time you estimate we're going to need for each setup, so that I can make sure that I can let you get on with the creative process while I keep an eye on the time.
This is a very important question, time management. Now, technically we have 4 to 5 hours in the studio itself. That is why, knowing that we have 45 hours, I've estimated for some shots to be happening outside the studio. Also, what a lot of people don't do, which is always good to do, is to get a second camera. So we'll have 2 cameras on this, and that's really important. So that way we have the second unit covering the other side of things. So what will happen is, if we're running on time, while I am shooting something with the main camera unit, we'll have the second unit going out getting some of these pickups. I don't want to talk about the pickups. It's part of the secret. A real good key factor is the block time. So I would like to, because everything in 3s, I would like to allot a half an hour for each setup. So that means what the main problem is going to be is makeup. As long as we have a good idea about what that estimated time is, while the artist is in makeup, we will probably shoot the partner in his second unit sequence. So we've also got to make sure that when we're establishing story shots, that we recognize that while the artist is going to be busy in makeup, we have to shoot something else, instead of everybody sitting around going, "Ooh, what are we going to do?" So after we give ourselves, let's say, a half an hour to an hour just to set up our first shot, then everything goes in half an hour brackets. And that's how I like to work it. It's Crystal's fault if we don't get everything. She doesn't know that, but it is.